Welcome. Today's webinar is on creating online learning environments for nonprofits and associations. My name is Dr. Tammy Frame, and I am the Chief Education Officer at eClassdlearning. We are recording today's webinar, and I actually had Seth's information there, so I will send the correct information so that if you couldn't join us live today, and if you have a question, feel free to email me any follow-up questions that you might have. eClassdlearning is a full solution e-learning provider. We do LMS solutions, course development, onboarding and support, advanced reporting and analytics, e-commerce options, hosting, systems integration, and customizations. And I think we'll be discussing all of those in today's webinar about how we can help nonprofits and associations in online learning. Today's webinar platform is Zoom, and if you have a question and you're here live and you want to put in a question, I'll be happy to answer those. I think that makes the presentations more lively and fun, so don't hesitate to do that throughout the presentation if you have a question. Okay, with that, we'll get started. Here are some of the things that we're going to be talking about today. We're going to be talking about it from a 2,000-foot level. Maybe your organization already does some of these, but maybe you'll pick up some new ideas of things that you could be doing to make your courses more dynamic. Or maybe you're brand new and you're just needing help thinking through what are the ways that we could use online learning for our organization. So we're going to talk about the advantages of maybe moving some of your in-person courses online. We'll talk about how to move in-person education online. We'll talk about how to create an online certification program, how to manage on-site and online events, creating multi-tenancy environments, how to promote information sharing and knowledge and social learning across your organization, how to monetize your learning portfolio, tracking and reporting, and onboarding and ongoing support. Okay, so first on our agenda is advantages of moving your courses online. One of the advantages would be to connect people across time and space. As we get busier, it's nice when you can connect to people in your organization without always having to travel. If you have limited physical space and you have a large organization, then moving it online makes learning limitless, and you can have as many people as want to join. Participants can do more on their own time. So if they are working nights, weekends, whenever, they can continue their learning. Pulling distant resources. Maybe you have subject matter experts all over the world. You can easily bring them in through webinars and give your membership access to them. You save money for traveling. More people can participate. Everyone can get the same content. So if you have multiple workshops and multiple trainers in an online environment, you can ensure that everybody is being exposed to the same content in the same way. And it can be a way to generate revenue for your organization as well. So this is the process that we use at eClassdlearning when we help organizations and associations move in-person training online. The first thing that we like to do is outline what the learning objectives are. That helps us with the design quite a bit. It also helps to list those in your course for your learners so that they know what they should know and be able to do by the end of the course. Then, based on that, you want to kind of take a backwards design and map out how are you going to assess that people know the objectives that you've outlined for that course. How will you assess them? And then for there, what we'll do is the next thing is create a mood board for the course, and that has to do with the branding, the colors, the logos, the icons, the fonts that will be used, so it's consistent throughout. Then we'll create a storyboard of the course, and we'll chunk up the course into what are the graphics or the videos or the activities, and then what are the voiceovers, what's the script that goes with each part of the course. We happen to work in Articulate Storyline, but there are others. There's Adobe Captivate and so on. We tend to like, for associations and nonprofits, we like to work with SCORM packages. That's sort of like a multimedia presentation. When you save it, you can save it as SCORM, which can be read by any LMS, and then it passes data in it. You can also have assessments in SCORM packages, and they make it easy for the learner. They just click and go, and it's all together packaged as one presentation. The next part would be uploading to your LMS, and then piloting with test groups. And that last one I can't emphasize enough. A lot of people go live without piloting and having a small group go through and give feedback. And I think you can avoid a lot of pain points if you do take the time to have a pilot group and go through the course ahead of time before launching live. Okay. The next part is on how to create an online certification program. And so when working with someone, an association or nonprofit, one of the first questions that I ask is, will the certification expire? Yes or no? And then that helps me to know what learning management system would be best for them, because there are some that will track that for you and re-enroll people and notify them when their certification expires. Because if you don't have that, that can be kind of a nightmare to track manually. I also should have added that I think this is a great idea for nonprofits and associations, because oftentimes you have knowledge and people want to be associated with you, and they want sort of a badge that is meaningful or a certification that shows that they are competent in certain skill sets that your organization represents. So I think this is something that many nonprofits and associations can do. Some of the things that you'll want to look at your learning management system to make sure that it can do, and by the way, all the things we're presenting, we've done with clients, and we have these capabilities and solution sets available to you. But you'll want to see that your learning management system is complex enough that it can track individuals. And you also want the capability perhaps where you can have automated certificates of completion. So what happens in those cases is there's certain criteria that you set up in the learning management system, and when users have completed those, an automated certificate will appear. You want, if you're going to be doing certifications, you want the ability to track expiration dates and re-enroll users. You maybe want to set up learning paths where people have some choices, or based on their skill set or what they're going for, they can go down different paths that can be set up, and you want a learning management system that's complex enough to support that. Tracking competencies. So very much like the course design, I think you'd want to start out with what competencies are we targeting in the certification? How will learners show that they have those competencies? And one of the ways maybe is to upload evidence. So your system needs a way to do that. And perhaps you even want an e-portfolio associated with your LMS that has single sign-on, where people can upload things and present them and have reviewers look at it and sign on and things, and maybe even have a workflow of how that's done to become certified. Okay, and so those are things that we've done for clients that we can set up for you as well. How to manage live, on-site, and online events. So learning can take lots of different forms. It might be purely online. It might be hybrid. Maybe it's a CPR course and parts of it have to be done in person and parts can be done online, but you need to go to both. Maybe it's webinars that you have that are live. So again, you want your learning management system to have the ability for users to sign up for these events. Maybe even track things like what's the maximum number, is there a waiting list, things like that. It's nice if your system can do auto notifications that you can customize. So things like thank you for signing up, or you have been placed on a wait list, or things like that. The ability to take attendance and count that towards different things. Integration with webinar technology, and some of the common ones might be Zoom, GoToWebinar, Adobe Connect. Ability to record and post the video of the live event for those who couldn't make it. And a calendar so that users can see what are the upcoming events. Another thing that's common in our nonprofits and association clients is they often need a multi-tenancy environment. And what that means is maybe you have master courses that need to be slightly different, either branded differently or slightly different for a different audience. Maybe it's another country or in another language. We can help you set up things like that so that it's easy to manage, and that maybe all of your master content is in one place, but when people log in, maybe they see a different logo or a different language. We can help make that multi-tenancy environment, help plan it out, and help configure it for you. Another important thing that I think would be very helpful that I don't see enough associations and nonprofits doing is to promote information sharing of knowledge and social learning across your organization. So you probably have many subject matter experts in your association. Part of the reason they join your association or nonprofit is so that they can collaborate with others in their industry or whatever their area of interest that your association represents. In a learning management system, oftentimes the activities are instructor generated. So maybe you're creating content and you're pushing it out to learners. And maybe they take a quiz, maybe they're in a discussion board. But again, the instructor is deciding when and how those things will occur. Where in a social learning platform, learning is organically generated. And so the learner is deciding when certain events like discussions and collaborations will occur, and if they're going to collaborate and create things together, maybe join groups and communicate. And it's all on the learner to initiate. And so what's ideal is when you can have both types of environment with maybe single sign-on, so they don't have to sign into yet another platform, and have a seamless integration between one and the other, so that they can hop back and forth. And sometimes maybe they're taking an instructor-generated course, but at other times they have access to the other members and can be creating things or collaborating or networking amongst themselves. Here are some screenshots in the next slides of Totara Social, which is a social platform. We also have Mahara, which is another one. And in here, you can see it kind of looks like Facebook. And you might say, well, why can't we just use social media like Facebook? And you could. Sometimes, though, you might want to limit it only to your members, you know, and you're providing this platform and service as part of a benefit of joining your association. Also, all the members are in one place, and it's easy to find. And if they're already taking online courses, it's already linked and single sign-on right there. So they often, these social platforms have a very social networking feel to them. So this is like a wall with your profile. You can see that you could also ask a question to the membership, and if people, there's a lot of shared knowledge between your industry, people might know the answer and help one another out, or maybe they propose an idea, maybe things that you might put, what are some sessions that you'd like to see in our upcoming conference, and people brainstorm and put their ideas up there. And then people can like those things, and you can see which ones are the most popular, for instance. Okay, there's a lot of social things, like you can create blogs and users can blog about different things, and then other users can comment on it and share information that way. You can connect to other people either through groups, or you can see who's in the membership and connect. Each member can control how they want to be contacted and whether or not they have to approve somebody. So again, it has very much that social networking feel to it. In social learning, here are some things that people might do. They might update their status, they might ask a question, they might connect with others, they might propose an idea, they might blog, do discussion forums, they might generate content and share resources, or join subgroups that are set up, or create a group around a certain interest area that would be timely to your organization. Another thing that I think associations and nonprofits can do, and some of our clients do this, is they use some of the content that they're creating from their organization to generate revenue. And oftentimes we have set it up so that there's a member database that we connect to, and they can get a discount if they are a member, and people can pay to join or to have access to a course. How the system works, if you're thinking about e-commerce, is it works best to have a web portal of some type, and we can help you with that. Either we can create one, or we have sort of a whole e-commerce package called LMS Checkout, where you design your own website if you don't have one, or we can connect within your website through a link too. But somewhere online, you want to be able to sell your courses, and you want to have good search engine optimization, and you know, people easy to check out and find your courses and find information. So on that website, you'll have a store with a cart, you know, to purchase a course. And once somebody hits submit, a couple things will happen. One is they will be auto-enrolled in the course in the learning management system with all of their user data, so that you don't have to manage that, and you don't have to send out confirmations and usernames and passwords. So that auto feature is really nice. And then the other thing that happens is whatever payment gateway you set up, so maybe you have PayPal or Stripe or Authorize.net, whatever you use, it's going to send the payment to that payment gateway, okay? And then from there, you can deposit the funds to your bank through your payment gateway. So that's how the architecture of an e-commerce system works. We've set up many of these for our clients and made it much easier to purchase courses online. Okay. Another thing that you'll want to consider is reporting and analytics. And so a good question, if you are at the beginning stages of thinking about how you're going to put your organization online, thinking about what reports do I need and who needs to see them is a good question exercise to go through. And if you do that, we can help you select the best tool sets to get those reports and to configure your learning management system to get those out. The next slides that I'm going to show you are from Zula. It's one of the products that we support. It works on top of learning management systems. And so it works with many learning management systems and the ones that we support as well. And what's really cool about Zula is you can create dashboards, and it has many, many already created reports. Plus you can drag and drop and create your own reports. And then you can configure these dashboards of information. And you can set up these dashboards either as, you can also set up little report blocks anywhere too. And you can put them and embed them right in your LMS, and you can decide who has permissions to see what. So those of you that are staff in associations and nonprofits, I'm sure you have boards and stakeholders that want to see what their return on investment is for this learning platform, and how many people are taking courses, and how is this a value add to the membership. And so these kinds of reporting and analytics at your fingertips that are dynamic and real time and can be easily exported to PDF or Excel are very, very helpful. And also, I think when data is visual and at your fingertips, it's a lot more to be actionable and make decisions and see how things are going and make mid-course corrections in real time. So this is what just an example of an engagement dashboard in Zula, and it's showing the 10 most engaged courses report. And it's showing like who has the most views, forum posts, submitting of things, and how much time learners have spent on it. The number of course views per month to see how engaged your membership is. To see student progress and maybe see which courses are progressing a lot and which ones aren't so much. To see how many enrollments there are per course too, and to see what kinds of things your members value and are finding interesting and want to learn more about. Here's an enrollment dashboard that was set up, and it just kind of shows by month and you know, what kinds of things people are signing up for. On the left are a whole bunch of filters, so you could filter by course categories or by course, or limit the amount of time you want to see, and quickly export these types of reports. Here's another one that we put together, an instructor dashboard. And at a glance, you can see by course how many people have completed, the number of people enrolled, what percent are complete. I love this one in the top right corner, users who have not yet accessed courses in the last 7 days. A heat map showing what days and times people are utilizing the site. Very interesting information to have. Here's another one, a time spent learning. And so you can see by the course or per module how much time are people spending on this, and what do they value, and what are they really learning about. That can be very valuable, and also, like I said, very visual and easy to share with your stakeholders. The next part is about training and ongoing support. It's very important to consider this in your cost, your overall costs. I think this can often get skipped and overlooked. So you need a partner that can train you on how to use the system to get the most out of it. And I do believe that eClass4Learning is a really good partner in that. And I think we do an excellent job of that. And we want to make sure our clients are successful on the platform. You need to be thinking about how are you going to support your end users? What if somebody can't log in? What if they have browser issues that are preventing them from seeing a movie or something like this? Or a virus on their machine. That's not uncommon either. And that is something that oftentimes nonprofits and associations have a very big reach, but a very small staff. And sometimes for some associations and nonprofits and higher ed, eClass4Learning does that. So then what happens is your members would actually call us, and we would have an 800 number on your site and a support link. But and then we help them with their questions and help them, and we know from which association they're calling from. Another thing to consider is just because you've got all your courses up once, it's never a done deal. And it's not uncommon nowadays for associations and nonprofits that offer online courses for them to have a full-time instructional designer on staff. Just to keep content fresh, to keep developing content. If you do go the SCORM route, SCORM, the browsers keep changing. And so then you have to occasionally republish your courses to meet the new browser specifications, okay? And your software that you created the SCORM in will have an update, and then you can update your courses. And so you need somebody that's managing those types of things. Another thing is managing users. Sometimes that can be automated, and eClass4Learning, like I said before, can hook it up to your member database and have enrollments happening automatically or with Salesforce and things like that. But if you choose not to go that route, sometimes you might be bulk uploading users in spreadsheets if you don't do it that way or do self-enrollment. And so then you need someone who can manage those users and upload them for you. And that's another service that eClass4Learning can do. And like I said before, maybe you need single sign-on with other systems or even your member database, and maybe it needs to go check and see if they're a member. If so, they get a discounted rate or they can have access. Things like that, eClass4Learning has set up for other associations and nonprofits as well. One that isn't up here that I would also recommend is marketing. These courses will not sell themselves, and so somebody who understands search engine optimization, email campaigns, maybe even online ad campaign strategies would be helpful in getting your courses out there and promoting your organization or association. If you have questions, this is my contact information. I'd be happy to answer them, or we would be happy to talk with you about your nonprofit association and give you some recommendations or recommend some solution sets. So please don't hesitate to contact us if anything in here perked your interest and you'd like to know more about it. With that, we do have an upcoming webinar that you might be interested in. If you are interested at all in the Moodle platform or use Moodle, on September 26th, we are going to be doing a webinar on adaptable learning with Moodle and how you can create adaptable learning environments. And so we hope you will join us for that. And thanks again for signing up, and we hope to see you at another webinar soon. Thanks much.